Hey BookTube, welcome back. It's Liz from Book Learning. It's Saturday, and I've been spending the morning so far snuggling with dogs, waiting for my husband to wake up. I've been watching. Hello. You want to come up? I've been watching a lot of BookTube videos. I'm just kind of checking in with some of my favorite people, and I've really been enjoying the trend toward like houseplant tours and garden tours. I loved Waiting Moose's garden tour this morning. And anyway, I guess I'm going to, my house looks kind of messy, but I guess I'm going to keep just chilling and waiting for my husband to wake up. I don't know what he got into last night after I went to bed, but my boss lent me his copy of The New Yorker, keeping with the garden theme. I love it. And I'll flip through it. I think it's the fiction, not episode, issue. And there were a lot of like parenting types of articles in it. And one of them was written by one of my favorite authors, Chang-Rae Lee. So I'll probably start with that and then just kind of flip through it. So last night I watched Hannah Gadsby's Nanette. It's a stand-up comedy show, and when I flicked open this issue, I ended up on the mail, which is essentially letters to the editor, and I can't stop laughing about her slow Twitter comment. The burns. Oh my gosh. If you haven't seen Nanette, it's on Netflix. It is flawless. Highly recommend. Coffee with whipped cream, some chocolate, and In the Woods, and a Marcus. It's not just anybody who comes to Detroit with a March 27 issue of Science and Diplomacy. Hello, Detroit, from my room. So I'm back from a very busy trip to Detroit, being eaten by mosquitoes because I was out in the garden. You can see the hat mark. So almost right as the plane was landing in Detroit, I finished The Pine Barrens by John McPhee, and I still have no idea why I put this on my holds list at the library. It was written in 1967, and it's like a journalistic investigation that seems to be in response to proposed development of a jet port, not an airport, a jet port. So retro. In the Pine Barrens, an area of wilderness in New Jersey. And John McPhee kind of did an anthropological study of the area, its terrain, its flora and fauna, its people and their way of life, and just in successive chapters it just describes how people live in the Pine Barrens with the seasons and kind of secluded from society, but a society unto themselves. It's pretty interesting. I just have no idea why I put it on my holds list. So I didn't get much reading done while I was in Detroit. Loved the city. Love Detroit. I'd only really read about Detroit off, like, in a indirect way through 2 books. One is Middlesex by Jeffrey Eugenides, and the other is a book I read this year whose name I have completely forgotten. Let's see if it's on my shelf somewhere. The Good Negress by A.J. Verdelli. So they both kind of describe Detroit in its uproarious best in the 60s, essentially. Detroit is a fascinating city. Wow. And they've done a lot of development in the last year. I love it, and I hope I can go back sometime. But on the way back, I really started getting into In the Woods by Tana French. It's, police procedural with an international flair, says the USA Today. It went around a lot on BookTube a while ago. I had picked it up, I had earmarked it because I heard someone explain that the 2 main characters have a fantastic friendship, and it's a man and a woman, intergender. I don't even know how to describe this, but I have good friends who are guys, and so it's always nice to see a dual gender relationship where it's not amorous, it's just people, and I'm really enjoying it. It's twisty, but it's so well described. Like, the descriptions in it are amazing. I spent about 2 hours laying in bed this morning with my dogs, just reading until I couldn't keep my eyes open. And I think my goal is to finish it this weekend, even though I have quite a bit to go. It's fast-paced, love it, enjoying every minute of it. And in case I get bored, I can always read the Power issue of my local rag. It's interesting because the man on the cover is behind the development of the mental health docket through the court system, which is amazing. It's an opportunity for offenders caught for non-felony crimes to have the opportunity to receive the care and support that they need that might really rehabilitate them. And it's not like an institutionalized thing in the sense that they don't have to go to like a mental health facility. They actually get case management support, and they're living their regular lives, but they're thinking about it in a way that might address what led them to a small crime, like an addiction led them to steal or something like that. So, yeah. Catch you later. And we're back more or less where we started, with dogs scratching themselves. I didn't finish In the Woods, but I'm loving it. And I just wanted, on this last note, to share a book that I got while in Detroit at my conference. In Shock, My Journey from Death to Recovery and the Redemptive Power of Hope by Dr. Rana Audish. She was one of the amazing keynote speakers. Patrice Cullors was also one of our awesome keynote speakers, but her books were sold out by the time I got to the table. So, sucks for me. But Dr. Rana Adish, her life story is absolutely amazing. Highly recommend. Basically, it's hard to summarize what she went through, but basically at the lowest, hardest point in her life, she chose to learn and come back, not with a vengeance, but with a mission. And it was really empowering to hear how she allowed her perspective to be changed in her most difficult months. Highly recommend. I haven't read the book, but from her talk, I can't wait to get into this. And until then, I will be enjoying another coffee with whip and an awesome biscotti from Astoria Bakery in Detroit, in Greektown. So, thanks for joining me, and I'll be back. The doctors, they done all they could, but the medicine will do no good. When she touched me, the saving sea, to be turning around and cry. So